Alright, so kind of continuing with mikeburnfire again. The links to the original video are going to be down in the description below. Make sure that you check them out for the original channel and video. If this is your first time seeing this channel, I'm laughing a little bit, but I was a corporal in the United States Marine Corps, where I was in from 2015 to 2019. One or two deployments. First one stayed in Kuwait. Second one went back to Kuwait, spent some time in Syria, even went on a 4-day mission. So with that out of the way, I just saw his anger management video, and I can't tell you, like, I literally had to step away from the computer because it was bringing back old memories about just instances where you would just be so pissed off because of the way your chain of command just acts and the little childish tactic that a lot of higher ranking people like to use. It was just, I was so mad for Zach and when he was describing his time at Fort Polk, which sounds like one of the more horrible bases, at least in the Army. Actually, if you're in the Army and you're watching this, what's the worst base that you've seen, heard of, or anything, right? Because right now, I'm thinking of, also off that of Fort Hood, but, you know, Fort Hood, Fort Polk, I haven't really spent too much time as for learning the bases from the Army. Obviously, Marine Corps side of things, it's a little easier, but let me know which one was probably the worst. So before we get into the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, really does help me a lot. Hit that notification button so you get notified every time I do upload. Without wasting too much more time, let's go ahead, get right into the video.
You ever notice stupid people have a smell?
No. I don't go to people and smell them and go, wow, you smell dumb.
No, I'm just saying, like, stupid people usually smell bad.
Well, if they're stupid, they...
I swear, military guys, some of the only people that I know of that would just say the most random things, but they seem to make sense. Because now I'm thinking about it, like, have you ever experienced that where someone just smells bad and you can immediately think like they're not smart? You know what? A lot of the, to put it in friendly terms, a lot of the people who I know of who aren't smart, now that I think about it, they don't smell very good. Or they don't have like a smell that doesn't like smell horrible. Huh, that's interesting though. Interesting.
Probably don't know enough about personal hygiene.
But I also kind of want to believe that stupid emits a smell.
I don't know. I don't smell anything right now when I'm with you.
I'm just saying, like, the next time you're waiting in line at a gas station or something, and the guy in front of you is like, yeah, I just spent $75 on scratch-off lottery tickets and I won $13. That's a net gain. Give him a sniff. He'll smell terrible.
He'll probably smell like chewing tobacco and alcohol.
Oh, God, probably. I had a squad leader in the military who smelled like bad Taco Bell meat. It was like Taco Bell meat that has gone bad. And he always would end up running at the front of formation anytime we would run. And the person who was right behind him would always end up being like, oh no, leg cramps. I'm going to fall out to the back of the formation. So it would just be everyone that was behind him would just end up rotating until... Just keep rotating. Person in the front, all the way to the back. Person in the front, all the way to the back.
I don't know if you were trained for this, but in Poolee training, we had Indian runs. Now I know what they were preparing us for.
Yeah, it was pretty much that.
It's exactly that.
I think he got yelled at by our chain of command because there were so many people that went to our leadership and were like, yeah, Sergeant X smells like rancid taco meat. Can you make him take a shower? Well, apparently he was homeless for a very long period of time.
Surprisingly, a lot of military men are.
Yeah.
But none of the branches teaches you how to manage your money or have a good social life.
Oh, God, no. Oh, God, why would they teach you any of that stuff? Just get drunk. Who cares?
Yup.
The most scary...
I mean, in my personal experience, I had a couple of seniors who did help some of my peers set up good budgeting. But then again, you don't really always get those. For the most part, you're probably not going to get them. So, but yeah, I mean, don't spend the majority of your money on beer. You don't necessarily get paid a lot for what you do or for the amount of work that you end up putting in. There's even a lot of instances where you could technically could get more money, which I know that for like the chow hall, right? They would take like $300 a month out of your paycheck to go eat there whenever you want when it's open. But the food was horrible. The chicken was always undercooked. The burgers were horrible. Everything just sucked, right? And a lot of times you weren't even able to go, but it gets forcibly taken out. Now, I would have rather liked it to not be taken out, and I wouldn't eat at the chow hall at all. Or if I did, I would just have to pay for it, right? Because then I never really went that much. But yeah, I never heard of anybody being homeless when they were in. I've heard a lot of that more happens when you get out. But that's interesting. Okay.
Scared I've ever been. Probably when I crapped myself sitting on a toilet. To be fair, the toilet is the best place to crap yourself, but I crapped myself because we started getting mortared.
Oh! Did the fear cause you to void your bowels?
I was sitting in a porta potty. It was very, very hot. I just have to do this as fast as possible so I don't have to spend any time in this sweltering porta potty.
Porta potties in the desert are actually very, very hot.
They are incredibly hot because they're very stinky because there's no ventilation. And usually when they come to clean out the porta potties, they just blast the inside of the porta potty with a power washer, so it's always humid in there.
And there's never any hand soap.
I'm sitting in the porta potty.
And someone always write Wagner Lowe's cock somewhere in there, and every damn porta potty. Not to mention when it's really hot, and the challenge, I don't know how to word it so that YouTube doesn't do anything about it, but it's like you're pleasuring yourself, right? And you're trying to do it in that type of hot environment. Or you got some people that beat off in the corner, and they're like, I claim this porta potty. And then everybody starts doing it because they think it's funny, but it's disgusting. You're all a bunch of disgusting nasties.
I'm trying to make my business as quick as possible. And then I hear the incoming siren. The moment I think I'm going to want to be quicker, a mortar impacted, I would say, within a couple 100 yards. The pressure wave of the mortar hitting caused the entire porta potty to flex.
Oh!
There was no shrapnel that was near me.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't technically in any danger, but the walls of the porta potty went woof and flexed after the mortar went off. I no longer had to use the bathroom at that point, and that wasn't because I had tensed up. That was because my bowels had evacuated into the porta potty instantly. I have quite literally had the shit scared out of me. The moment the porta potty flexed, I went, no time to wipe, I gotta go! And just ripped my pants up as fast as I could, kicked the door to the porta potty open, and ran towards the nearest cover I could find, holding my pants up because I did not have time to do all the buttons on my fly or redo my belt.
You're gonna get a rash if you don't wipe.
The nearest cover I could find was an MRAP, mine-resistant, ambush-protected vehicle. The doors for these things weigh about 500 to 600 pounds. They're really heavy.
I do remember the doors being very heavy. I didn't know there were 5 or 6. But then again, it's like almost made of completely pure metal, right? And then you got like that little window, right? That's like just pure bulletproof, I would assume. But he literally scared the shit out of him.
I ripped that thing open like it was nobody's business. Hopped straight up into the vehicle, sat down, and slammed the door behind me. And I look over, and there's a sergeant who is sitting in the vehicle as well. And he's just smoking a cigar.
First time getting mortared, huh?
Had to shit, huh? And I said, yup. And he goes, don't have to shit anymore? And I went, nope. And he goes, you forgot your hat. And I went, shit. I'm not going back for it. And he goes, I don't blame you. And then neither of us said another word to each other for the rest of the time we were in there.
Wait, I don't... damn it. Honestly, I think the only thing I can remember in my past was probably... We were in the defense, and we hit this big vehicle to our left. It was pretty damn close. We even had ear pro and everything. And when this damn it, what was the name of the vehicle? A Bushmaster? Something Master? Bushmaster? I think it was a Bushmaster. Whatever. Big ass gun. And shoots, and every shot you just hear boom, boom. And it's that's probably the worst way to describe it. But you would hear it very distinctly and very loud. One time, one of my ear pros fell out, right? And when this thing went off, I literally felt a ringing in my ear. And it was the first time I've ever really felt that. And I was like looking around like freaked out, like, what the I'm looking around for my ear pro, and then I just go. And then I did that for the majority of the rest of that little training exercise that they were just shooting. And they were telling us, when they would show us the targets that would be popping up and down, I just been shooting straight up, like at an angle going up in the air, because I'm like, I can aim with I can somewhat aim with one hand, but I'm not going to be very accurate. But I have to put my finger in my ear because I couldn't find my other damn ear pod, and that shit would hurt so bad every time I shot on my left ear. But I would say that's probably the closest, at least sound or sound wise, shockwave wise. Then again, I was inside a building. It was at the end of a range, and they had tanks shooting. And even though the tanks were kind of far, there was a window in one of these buildings, and you could hear and feel like the vibration on the walls, on the ground, and all that. And they would tell us, "Hey, don't stand behind the window because you're gonna get all that force just getting driven out of you." So, the probably only 2 moments where that kind of shockwave probably hit me.
Why do the Army uniforms always look like garbage? The Marines had the greens, and we had the deserts.
Yeah, you had deserts and woodland.
I prefer deserts. Woodland, I don't know. Woodlands just felt heavier.
They look great.
Yeah.
They look great. They work good. The one thing I will say about the Marines is their uniforms always look amazing.
Damn straight.
They have the best looking uniforms out of any branch of the military.
I will say that, being biased, that they do have the best looking uniforms, at least from what I think. But a lot of it, especially the leatherneck with your, was it alphas? It is so painful to get that little hook on. And then a lot of times when you get it on, it comes off. And, well, because you got it, I don't even think I ever got it fitted. The only time I ever did was probably in boot camp when they do it for you. And obviously back then I was like 170 because I lost like 30 pounds in boot camp. And then trying to wear it again a couple times in the fleet, like when we went to the ball, that clip would always come off. And you feel like you're suffocating almost. But very stylish.
Military,
Indisputable.
even their dress uniforms, I think dress uniforms are freaking stupid because it's not the 1600s and nobody cares about dress uniforms anymore.
I never even had the dress blues. I don't know if you know this, but
You never had the dress uniform?
I never had the dress blues. They used to issue them when you got out of boot camp.
Yeah.
And then there was a brief window in 2007 where they didn't do that.
Why?
I guess they expected you to buy it yourself. They were low on funds. Any number of reasons. Who knows?
Historically, the Marines are pretty much always out of money, so that would make sense. Getting back on topic here, I think
So 2007 around the time frame, they just didn't give you it.
that some general in the Army saw a bunch of these Marines walking around the Pentagon, and they were wearing these cool digital patterns, and they went, "I just watched the movie The Matrix. I like digital things. I want digital uniform for all Army. Army smart. Army get digital. Be future." Like how for that very short period of time, the Army's motto was an army of one, which is not really conducive when you're trying to have an organization that's built around everyone working together.
You're all each individually armies of one.
Yeah, it didn't make a whole lot of sense. That got changed real quickly to Army Strong.
Army strong, army smack.
Army no like terrorists. So the Army got these digital uniforms, and they were such shit.
Oh, are you talking about the teal colored digital camo?
Yes, the teal colored digital camo that blends in with that famous picture of a couch and nothing else. It blends in with nothing. You see.
Wait, what was the reasoning behind that too? Because I always thought it just looked weird. Right? Oh, wait. I guess they were trying to blend in with like rocks and whatnot, but it's like, who okayed this? And somebody also mentioned it for the Navy, because you know the Navy. At least when I was getting out, there were, I don't know if everybody was transitioning to them, but a lot of people were wearing the green camis for like the Navy. And they, from what I understood, was that why would you have them wear blue when if they, like, for example, if they fell in the ocean, it'd be a lot harder to see them. Why would you want to be camouflaged in the ocean, right? And you can't be camouflaged to the ship.
CP is the camo pattern, which just stands for Universal Camo Pattern. Because it universally doesn't blend in with jack fucking shit. The camo pattern that Doc Friday has on is a better camo pattern than UCP.
You seem to be a big fan of Flecktarn in general.
Because it's a good camo pattern and it works. There's a reason the German military has used Flecktarn since 1980 until 2017.
Oh, did they change it recently?
Most militaries are just going to multicam now. Because multicam just seems to work with pretty much everything. Unlike UCP, which the 3 colors on UCP are freshly poured concrete, sand, A color that doesn't exist in nature. That's it.
It might actually work if you're in some kind of urban desert environment.
Here's a fun experiment. Put a UCP jacket on one of your friends. Have them stand 3 blocks away from you in a city. And then have a bunch of people walk around. You'll still be able to pick them out. You'll be like, oh, look at that dipshit wearing UCP down there.
Well, of course you will. If you're trying to spot somebody in a crowd that stands out, the only person wearing camo is going to stand out.
The way camo is supposed to work is it disrupts the shape of a person.
It's supposed.
Okay, damn it, what was it? We had the dude who was part of the snipers platoon on my first deployment, and he was telling us, because he also got kicked out of his for a reason that I wasn't really sure on, but he was telling us, like, he would try to teach us little classes here and there, things about snipers and all that. And as far as the ghillie suit, right, we had, I believe he said we had 5 V's, so a V between your legs, and then V's right here, right? And that, for the most part, I think it was that form isn't really found in nature or something like that. And then with the ghillie suit, since you take away all that, it makes it really hard for someone to spot you, right? At least that was my understanding of it.
Supposed to break up the silhouette.
The problem with UCP is the squares are all too damn small, so at a distance, you just look like a big teal blob. And they're not the same color as the background anywhere. There was one other time that I did see it work, and that was when infantry in Iraq would wear the exact same pair of ACUs for 2 months so that they would become crusted with dirt and brown.
Ah, yes.
And then they would just become khakis.
The khakis were better camouflaged than the
Khaki
UCPs.
is a better camouflage. Just straight khaki uniforms or straight coyote brown uniform is a better camouflage pattern than UCP.
That's unfortunate. I suppose it would blend in with other people that were wearing the same pattern.
That's not the point of camouflage, though.
No, it's not.
The Army spent $5 billion researching this camo pattern, and it didn't blend in with anything. It's absolutely terrible. It is, in my opinion, the worst military uniform ever designed, and I am putting that over the British military uniform that was just a bright red jacket.
That's quite a stance to take.
There is statistical, numerical proof that UCPs got soldiers killed.
Did you need to get that off your chest? How much you hated the Army's uniforms?
Big news!
They recently changed the pattern.
Yes, they're all wearing multicam now.
Is it 4 colors? They have concrete, dirt, a color that doesn't exist, and red?
No, multicam is mud, dirt, tree, and green.
Unless the tree part is a maple leaf in autumn, I don't see.
It's just got bright red. It's just got the Canadian flag and just spots on it.
Actually, they do have that in the Canadian uniforms. They have little.
There's
Canadian
little
flags.
Canadian flags. I know. I love it. Oh man, CADPAT's a great uniform.
Why don't we have anything like that in the American uniform?
Marines have that.
We have the Eagle Globe and Anchor everywhere.
Yeah,
but,
you have the Eagle Globe and Anchor.
but that doesn't celebrate America in general. We need cheeseburgers on our patterns.
Just little pieces of bacon and bowls with macaroni.
Also, I just want to say, with that Eagle Globe and Anchor, a word of advice, do not get a tattoo of it. It might seem like a good idea right now. You're going to get called you're going to get called a lot of things, and things that I don't really want to say in here, but don't get the tattoo. No, Eagle Globe and Anchor. I mean, if you want to get a small one, sure, go for it, but if you get a big one, like I see a lot of people do, you're going to get made fun of. You'll be considered a nerd of sorts.
Macaroni and cheese.
Why is that the stereotypical American thing for you?
Oh no, it's just bologna and mac and cheese. That's
Oh,
like
God.
all it is.
I said stereotypically American, not stereotypically gross.
Fine, bologna and government cheese.
Ah.
All right, let's go ahead and talk about that for a minute. Now, for the part about the uniforms and all that, yes, we'll say the Marine Corps does have some pretty cool camis, and personally, I would prefer frogs even on stateside, just because they feel so much better. They're so much lighter, and it's just like a little quick zipper here. You just light it on like a shirt. I like the trousers of it, because I even like that it just feels light. It looks cooler too, right? And you don't have to roll up the damn sleeves. You know, there's a special way to roll them up so that they are like right here, and they're like, was it like the little piece of the pocket there has like a little triangle. It's flat, all that. I've seen people cut some of their sleeves off to make it a little easier to roll and make it more flat. But I just realized, did the Army ever roll their sleeves? I mean, yes, I understand everybody likes to roll their sleeves on deployment. It's like, you know, the cool thing to do. But like, did they ever, like, I guess, roll it like the way the Marine Corps did? I don't think they did, or maybe they did, but it looked a lot different, and it would only, I believe it only came to like the elbows, right? And yeah, I mean, but in any case, the dress uniforms, very uncomfortable. Looked good, but very uncomfortable to wear, especially the leather neck. Now, even when you would wear like the long sleeves, I don't remember that wasn't the Charlies. I think it was the Deltas, right? The service uniform, where you would have like the brownish shirt, the khaki shirt, right? And you would wear like the white shirt underneath. That thing would get so itchy. And a lot of times it just never fit right, because a lot of us never really got it fitted outside of boot camp. And that's pretty much with any and all uniforms that we did get. Even the uniform allowance that we would get to like help maintain, I think it was like $96 or something like that. Never really used it on it either way. So as far as uniform goes, that's all I had to say on that. Mortared, he's honestly came closer to me from seeing combat. Definitely one of the instances where I probably would have just done the same thing. All right, because obviously I don't know how I would react unless I was in the situation, but I feel like I would react somewhat the same. Or yeah, because mortars, if they're firing mortars, obviously they're not close, and it'd be a long range battle that I wouldn't be able to do much specifically individually in that scenario. So yeah, I probably did the thing, kick the door open. You just imagine him like Spartan kicking the door and just running while holding his pants like this, and he's like running to the MRAP. But yeah, I'm having I'm just having a blast listening to these guys' stories, man. I'm also kind of right now working on like a little compilation of certain stories that involved me, involved a couple of my buddies when we were in. Some stories that I've heard, I'm kind of compilation or compiling, whatever that word, to put these videos together, or not the video, but these stories together and make a little video on it. But obviously that's for a little later on down the line. In any case though, that's going to go ahead and do it for this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, really does help me a lot. Hit that dislike button if you didn't like it, leave me a little comment to maybe what it was. Until then, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.